Okay, so we'll just wait a couple of minutes for people to connect.
Yes, yes, sure. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, so we
Yes.
already have some people watching, so we can start. So hello, for those that are watching us. Again, this is your MCPPD, and we have the second session of the night. So all the way from Greece, we have Christina. I'm not sure I will pronounce your last name right. Estergiuda.
It's okay, you don't have
Uh,
to.
she's LCPIGT. And the stage is all yours, Christina.
Amazing. So, hello, amazing people. As Caesar said, I'm Christina. I come from Greece, from Isaac in Young Thessaloniki, actually. I'm also PPIG and IDT here. And today we will see together some things about personal branding and business protocol. Um, So, I will start a bit with my experience in order to have an idea of who is speaking, who is talking to you, to get a bit like break the ice and stuff. So, I've been here for 2.5 years in ISEC, in Thessaloniki, in UOM, in my LC. I've been through many positions, let's say. I've been mostly in ICX, in IDV, and ID. And right now, I'm a local committee vice president. I have a really nice experience so far. And in 2 months, my term ends, and I will go for a global entrepreneur in Romania after my term is over. So, through my experience, I've had many interactions with many companies, many organizations, many startups. So I have some experience to share with you in how to interact with them and what and how for you to be professional and the best version of yourself while during sales. So together we will see today what is personal branding, how to brand ourselves, how to interact with companies, and how to be 100% amazing. What the communication flow can be when we attract companies and when we go for meetings with them, as well as some tips and solutions on daily things that may concern us, like how can I call them, how can I go and how should I talk to them and stuff like that. You can stop me whenever you want to ask questions, or actually you can ask your questions and Caesar will tell them to me. I will do some pauses in order not to interrupt during I speak and stuff. And then we'll have a final Q&A in order to solve all your answers. So we may start. Are you ready? Lizard, is everything okay? Can I start?
Yeah, sure.
Amazing. So let's talk a bit about personal branding. As you can see here, personal branding can be the professional image you portray. For example, when I go to a company or when I speak with someone who doesn't know me, I should be the best version of myself. I should have a picture that when the other person sees me, they will say, "Ah, this is Christina." It's how we show our strengths over weaknesses in our daily life, how I can show myself as the best version of myself, as the best person in this role. It's also the things that makes someone unique, and how we how we show ourselves, how we create a picture of ourselves to other people, and how and what we believe about ourselves. For example, I know myself, and I know that I have both strengths and weaknesses in as everybody. But what I would choose to show to other people will be my strengths. That I'm a good seller, that I'm a happy person, that I'm an honest person, and not that sometimes I may be insecure or whatever. That's the basic things, and it's mostly about attitude, not something that you are born with. This personal branding is actually, if I had to translate it in one word, it's attitude. That it's saying that I will go there, I will do that, and I will be amazing. That's all. It's mostly about confidence, and confidence is something that it can be built. It's not something that you're born with it, but it's something that you can build during your experience and during what you're doing. So you will ask me how to do personal branding, how to brand yourselves uh, to be the best version of what you can do. So the first thing you should do is to know who you are. When you have, everybody has some characteristics that make someone unique. As I told you before, I know that I can say that I'm a good seller, or I can say that I'm really organized. There are things that I can capitalize in my everyday life, and I can use actually in an interview or in my work or in things that I have to. The second part is to be confident. When we know that we are unique and we know that we have some things that nobody else has, it's easy to say that okay, I'm here to do this, this, and this, and I can do it. Actually, saying I can do it is the most important thing that someone can say to themselves. Because in Greece we have a word. It is γίνεται. Γίνεται means it can be done. When you say to yourself that it can be done no matter what, then there's no chance that someone will tell you the opposite or that you won't believe it. It's as I told before, it's about attitude. The third part is to be true. Be true to yourself, be true to the people around you, and don't be afraid to show your personality and your true colors. Because when we are true to ourselves and when we say and we do things that we believe, it's easier for us to be confident and actually do what we want to do, achieve what we want to achieve. These these are the three basic things. They're really easy. It's not something that you may say that okay, this is so difficult. It can be difficult if you don't try. If you try, you can achieve it. So, and now you learn some things on how to brand yourself, on how to um, try and do and portray the best version of yourself. Do you have any questions or something that you may didn't understand or anything you want to clarify more? Cesar, do we have something?
Sorry, questions.
Do we have something?
Okay, just no, guys. You for the people that are watching us, do you have any questions?
Or something that they have to clarify more in this sector, in this part?
No, it's all good.
Amazing. So now we will move on to, as you said, okay, now we learned some basic things. Okay, now what? Why did we learn these things? Why did we talk about these things? Because then we have meetings. Let's go back. Now we are all in IDT, right? I guess yes. Uh, Sales is one thing. It's a negotiation, and this is what we will talk about today. Before going to a meeting with a partner, or before we even book a meeting with a partner to sell our product, or to, I don't know, to learn how to sell, there are some things that has have to be done first. The one is research. Before approaching a startup or a company or an organization or whatever, you have to know who you're calling. And let's move on before even the approach. When you know who this person is, who what he or she has done before, and what is the subject or how Isaac can support anything that the company or the organization does, you are the one who should know it before even calling. And a really good way to do it is through LinkedIn. When you know the name of the person or the company's name before calling, you can go to LinkedIn and make a small research, or even on Google, you can Google the name of the company and learn more things about their subject, what they're doing, and stuff. And of course, before calling, you should know who you want to call, and why do you want a specific person. When you're cold calling, as I say here, you should know who you want to talk to and why you want to talk to this person. Because I've heard many, many times that people calling and say, "Hello, I want someone responsible." Yes, okay, responsible for what? In a company, there are many responsibles for many, many things. So if you don't know the name of the person who you want to talk to for your product, you should ask for the HR director and explain what you want. For example, I will call the company. I will say, "Hello, I'm Christina. I'm calling from ISEC, and I would like to speak to someone responsible for products, for programs, for projects, for whatever." But instead of saying that in the secretary who will pick it up, I can ask. I will say, "Hello, I would like to speak to the HR director." Then the secretary may ask me, "Okay, what do you want him?" And I will be like, I have a project which I believe the company might be interested in. That's really cool. Nobody will say no to you. And after that, you can speak to the HR director and explain, "I am from ISEC. I have this project called Global Talent. It's this, and this, and I would like to speak with someone who can help me concerning this project." That's all. Then they will may ask you more things about the project. For example, what it is, how much money do the company has to pay, or how long is the duration and stuff like that. It's cool. That's why I say here, know your product, because if you know your product, it's really easy to pitch it and say that global talent is this, has this duration, the interns do this, they come from different countries, and everything else. It's not only about the value proposition that we are taught in the very beginning of our experience. There are more things, like to know what happens with the intern, to know who is picking up the intern, to how we help the interns find their accommodation, or everything. You should know every little detail, every inch of the product when you're speaking with a company. This will make you feel more sure about what you're doing, about what you're selling, and what you're presenting. So when you really know the product, you're more able to discuss about it. You don't feel anxious because you know, because you have already lived it. You have an idea of what is happening and when, and it's easier for you to explain to other people what is going on with the product when you know. And another tip when you're approaching someone is to send an email with a presentation before the meeting. because this will save you lots of time and and maybe someone isn't interested in the product. So by going there and presenting, you might lose time. So by sending the presentation before and calling the people before, like, "Hi, I'm coming today for our meeting. Have you seen the presentation? Please take a look because we will discuss about this specific thing." And as I say here, if the other person, if the company has already seen the presentation, then it's more cool because you have something more specific to talk about, not explaining why global talent, what is ISEC, and na. It's a Google search away from what we want. If they don't know what ISEC is, they can Google it and then discuss about it with more details than just going there and talking for whatever things or talk for more time. Plus, we want partners who are eager to search and have an idea of what is going on in the world and who they're meeting. That's my point of view. And to tell you a small story here, the one partner that we have a big partner here in YOM, in a global entrepreneur, and this specific guy, we sent him the presentation before our meeting, and he knew exactly what ISEC does. He asked young people he knew. And when we went to the meeting with him, the first meeting with him, he was like, "Ah, and what is ISEC, and how is ISEC in your local committee? And are you the first local committee in exchanges?" We were like shocked with with the other ISEC member we went together there. But these are the kind of partners we want to have, not the ones that are waiting everything ready and in front of them. Okay, to be more realistic and to know exactly what we want to achieve. Are there any questions here for the approach? Because after that, we're going to the meeting, to the actual meeting. Cesar, do we have something?
No, not so far. Any question, guys?
Am I speaking too fast? Because I have this skill, see, personal branding. I know I'm speaking too fast.
No
Uh,
questions.
what?
So far, so good.
Amazing. Hmm. Okay, so we can move on to the meeting, to the actual meeting. As you can see here, the first and foremost thing you have to know before you're going to the meeting and when you are actually in the meeting is to know what you want. You know that you have a project. You know that you're doing something specific in global talent. So when you know how to present what you want, when the company knows your intentions, it's easier to have a discussion and you feel more safe, more sure about what you're doing. Um, as I say here, you should know what exactly you want to achieve. You want to sell. How many opportunities you want to open? You want to go. You know that this specific company can afford opening, let's say, 10 opportunities. Amazing. You will go for 10 opportunities, no less, no more. Okay, you can go for more, but you have a limit in your mind that I will open 10 opportunities in this company. Period. Then you want us to present. You want to research more things that the company can offer to you, more benefits. You can state it. You're able to say, and you're able to say whatever you want in the company. In terms of ISEC and in terms of projects or whatever else. So by stating from the very beginning what you want can help you, and by being honest, you win partners. You don't lose them. The second thing is again to know your product because you will feel much more secure, much more confident if you know everything about the project. And the third thing is to be open to discuss and negotiate. We have a thought in ISEC that when we're going to meetings, with partners, we go only to sell and we don't listen. While there's a really big tip that it's the 80-20 rule. but it's mostly the 60-40 rule, that 60% you're listening and 40% you're speaking. That's really important because when you're going to the company, you want to learn more things about them because since you already sent them your presentation, they know what you're doing pretty much. But you don't know what they are doing and what they are their current needs right now. And okay, you can research, you can stalk them as much as you want, but it's much better to listen what they are and what they need right now from their mouth. As I say here as an example, when you're in a shopping mall, you will buy something from the shop with the best customer service, with the shop that they have sellers that they care about you. And for example, when you go to buy a dress, they will ask you, why do you want this dress? The same thing happens in our field right now. When you ask the other people why, uh, what they need right now, and why global talent can help them, why can it be the solution, and have an open discussion, the other person will remember you, and they will be more open in having a big discussion with you and actually listen to you after. That's something really important when you speak with companies. Because what the first thing I learned in ISEC in sales is that imagine yourself being a product head in a company. You're all day with people that you work to. Yeah, you're listening about numbers. You listen about productivity. You listen about things that doesn't necessarily makes you happy. And then you meet a person from a youth organization who is really happy, who is really open, and who actually wants to listen about you, to listen how is your day, to listen how what are you doing, and not what and not things strictly on business. It's important, and you will remember because you will remember this person. The company will remember you if you care about them. Let's move on to the second part. The fourth part is to have clear expectations because you will say exactly that after you speak about the project, what's global talent and how it works, you set expectations in every part of your discussion. For example, I will send you the CVs of 4 candidates within 10 days when I will have collected them, and then you will have to contact them within 3 days. This is expectation setting. Because by signing a contract or by agreeing with the company that you will work together, then they will know that they have to follow these rules. Because we're professional here. If we have our expectations, we know how we work, and we organize. And if the other side isn't organized and cannot go with our rules, then we cannot work together. Because it's not only us that we say that, okay, we're raising opportunities, wow, and let's find the peace now to bring you. No, it's not like that. We don't have only the one company who doesn't want to follow our rules. There are many more. There will be many more. So we should value our time and our efforts. So we have to set expectations. Or, for example, that I will call you in 3 days to tell me your final answer, to tell me if you want to work with us, because it's a collaboration. It's not we don't only work with them; they work with us as well. The other part is to be professional, and by professionalism I mean that all the things that I mentioned before, as well as that we are clear. We don't overpromise what we want to deliver. Because I can say that I will bring to a company an exchange participant who will speak 5 languages, who will have 10 years of previous experience, and they will know many things even better than them. But this won't happen. We know that it won't happen. So we should explain them that okay, you may want the perfect person for whatever, but this doesn't mean that you won't see the other participants that we will send you. You will explain how everything works. For example, we open the opportunities in the system after we sign the contract together, and then we will shortlist the CVs, and then we will send you the best CVs after we interview the applicants. And these applicants that we will send to you, they will be already interviewed by us. So if you need something extra, you can just tell us. We have to interview ourselves. I don't know how you do the interviews or how it's your selection process, but what we do in Greece is to shortlist the resumes, the CVs, and then send them to the partners so that they will be able to decide and have a small interview with the candidates. Um, and after that, of course, we have the selection process in maximum 2 days. For example, the partner should answer in 2 days if they want the applicant or not. To have fast processes and not to let people wait. So these are things that you should discuss in the meeting with the company to be sure that everything is delivered. And if something goes wrong in any part of the collaboration, you shouldn't be scared or shy to say that, okay, this doesn't work, let's fix it, let's find a solution. Because you don't want to waste time, you want to offer experiences, and this is why we are here right now. And the sixth part, sorry, is to speak with data. Companies are familiar with data and numbers, so by speaking in their language, can help you both to catch their attention and to speak easier about things. For example, where you can use numbers, not only in the price, like we sell this product for this amount of money. Not only there are more things. You can say that how many experiences we offer every year, what is happening in global talent, how is Sweden in exchanges, and why global talent can help both ISEC and the world be a better place by following our vision as ISEC. Using data can help you catch their attention and to be more to the point sometimes and explain faster and easier what we do as ISEC. Um, is there any question here for the meeting part or anything else that you want me to clarify? Caesar?
Okay, let me see. No, all good. I think we can wait until the end for all the questions. So, guys, if you have any questions, you make sure that you write them down.
Mm-hmm. Usually, we have a saying here that if someone has no questions, they either got everything or they got nothing. And I can be really confident and say that, okay, I say everything amazingly and explain everything amazingly, but I have my concerns about that. Okay, I also do lame jokes, so don't mind me. And the next part is what is happening after the meeting, when the meeting is over. The first and foremost thing is to have a follow-up email. When you reach your home or the ISEC office or wherever you go, it's really good to send an output email right after the meeting, but with everything you discussed about with the person from the company, and as well as the deadlines by which you should have a final answer. Or you can say that, hello, Mr. Na na na. I'm Christina from ISEC, and we had a meeting before. I'm telling you here what we talked about during our meeting in order for you to have them clearly in front of you. Global talent is na 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 is what it is, and since you showed the enthusiasm during our meeting, I would like to know if we are going to work together by next Thursday, for example. And I will call you tomorrow or the day after tomorrow to see, just check if you got my email. And I'm looking forward to your answer and warm regards. It should be like that. Uh, for them to both remember you and to have in mind your proposal. Um, what we do here in Greece after the meeting with the partners, we also send the contract that we're signing. in order for the company to have an image of what the contract is about. So in the follow-up meeting that we're going to sign, to be able to actually sign it and not to uh, search in that moment what is going where. And the second part is the follow-up call. Um, as you mentioned also in the email, as you will mention in the email actually, it's really good to have to do a call some days after to remind them both to answer to you and to show that you remember them and that this company is your priority. That you really care about delivering them a really good experience. And since our job is to follow up, what I say to the companies is that I will call you in 2 days to see if you check our proposal and to see if you have any answer or any updates. Uh, I've I've tried. I've worked with many companies, and what happened was that in many of them, I had to call more than 3 times for follow up, and they don't mind because they know how it's done, and they know how they work like that as well when they're collaborating with other companies or with such things. So you don't spam them. You're just professional. So we're good. You don't have to be shy or whatever. And the third thing that is really good also, but it's not like required, is to ask for their email, or not only for your follow-up, but also for newsletters. To send them materials from everything that you're doing as ISEC or what happens in your local committee. For example, in Christmas, we create a newsletter to send to our partner companies to show them how much we grew through this year, how many experiences we've offered, and how useful was their collaboration through this year. For example, I have a partner who raised through this year 17 opportunities. Of course, he's a big contributor, so of course I will send him a newsletter with the experiences we offered together. And so it's really good for them also to see how big their impact is. Or sorry, it can be a motivation for them to open more opportunities and to deliver more experiences. Really good thing to keep in mind. And then we can move on to the extra tips that are always useful in a meeting or in any collaboration with any company that you will have in your life. The first thing is to be on time, and I don't say this only in the time of the meeting, but to anything that you promise. For example, when you're approaching someone and they tell you on the phone, "Can you call me back in half an hour?" You will call in half an hour, not more. Um, when you say that I will send you my proposal tomorrow, it should be tomorrow or even before tomorrow, to show that you're professional, to show that you're not the typical youth, young people who is like, okay, whatever, and I'll do when you have time. You should find time to deliver what you promised. Because if you don't, your whole collaboration with the company will be like that. Nobody will be on time. If you are on time in the very beginning, they will respect it and they will be on time too. The second part is to be polite and polite in terms of speak in a nice way, use nice words, and follow the basic manners that we are following when we're meeting someone we don't know. They will appreciate that not because they haven't seen someone with good manners, but because it's important for the protocols also to have people who know how to react and how to be around older people, for example. Also, a firm handshake in the beginning, in the end of the meeting, is really important. A firm handshake is made by two things: to hold the whole hand of the other person, to actually touch the whole hand of the other person, and not to shake it really hard, but to show them that. but to hold the other person's hand in a way that you show that you're here, to show that you know who you are, and to show that you're sure of who you are. Uh, in this, it's another way for you to be respectful by the other person. The fourth thing is to smile with your eyes because we can smile. We can make fake smiles, but it doesn't mean that the other people won't know. If you feel like smiling, you should smile, but they should be real. Don't try to do the fake smile because it shows. It's really obvious, to be honest. And since we are in an organization that does amazing things and we offer amazing experiences, it's really important to speak with enthusiasm and to actually show how happy we are for offering opportunities and offering these experiences to people. Because it doesn't matter that because every Isaac experience is important, and it's really nice to so that we are really eager to offer these experiences. And the sixth part is to be honest. As I said before, we shouldn't overpromise and say that they will bring you the amazing person who will do everything, will be a machine who won't stop and stuff like that. You should be honest in everything. From if you don't know something, which is normal, and nobody knows everything from the first moment who gets into who joins IS again, who starts selling a product. You'd say that it's not the same to say that I'm not sure of that. For example, of the price or the duration or whatever. I can ask and I will tell you in my output email, for example. It's not the same, and it's something that will make the other person respect you. That you're not afraid to say that you don't know something, or even if you know everything and you're not sure of something, you can say that I'm not sure or whatever. Honesty is a really important policy that makes not only you be seen as more respectful, but will make you feel more safe and more secure of what you're talking about. So these are the basic tips that I had to share with you, and how is to sell something that for the very first time, or how to be an experienced seller, a really good seller. So now it's time for questions. But now I really want you to ask me things.
Oh, there are a couple of questions now.
Oh, amazing.
First one is, what do you recommend? Sorry, what do you recommend to break the ice in a meeting? So, do you have any icebreakers that you usually use, or you're more of an improviser?
Mm-hmm. So this depends on your experience, first of all. If you feel really comfortable to ask something about themselves, you should really go for it. For example, I imagine myself asking the other person because of the company because it was really young, how old they are, or how did they manage to get into this company and work here. Or, for example, in startups, I always ask them how they came up with this idea. Or if I didn't have anything to ask, I would say I will mention something about the place, about the environment, or I would make a small joke on how difficult or easy it was for me to get to the place. If you feel comfortable, you can come up with many things. Or if you want to break the ice, because I'm the laugh. I usually do lame jokes. I feel really comfortable to do lame jokes with the partners as well, and this makes them laugh and it makes them feel more comfortable around me as well. And I'm not an extroverted person, as you may imagine. I'm an introvert, and I do these things. It's not really difficult. You can think of some things when you're going to the place that they may seem cool or whatever to laugh about or to ask them, and you can go for it. They're not the big people who you cannot approach or whatever. They're people like you and me, that's a bit older or that's a bit more experienced. They answer your question. Are you covered?
Good. I think that answered the question. We have another question from Celine from LC Lund.
Mm-hmm.
So it was regarding the deadline that you mentioned to for the companies to decide if they want to partner with us. Aren't you afraid that this will pressure the company too much?
Hmm. Yes and no. If you demand them to have a final answer 2 days after, of course they won't have it, and you will just seem strict to them. What you should do in order to be more diplomatic and to have what you want in the time you want is to ask them how long will it take for them to discuss if they can actually have this project and actually be okay with that. If they will say in a month or in 2 months or I don't know when, you can say that, okay, I understand that. But in ISIC, we have some deadlines as well because if we don't follow our timeline, it will be much more difficult to find exchange participants that have the characteristics you may want. And in this part, you can explain to them how the international timeline works. For example, in this period, we can find interest from these countries. In the other period, it's more difficult to find interest because usually, as we have researched so far, we don't have applicants in this specific period. That's all. You shouldn't be afraid, and you shouldn't set too big or too small deadlines. You should be in the medium. It should be medium. For example, 10 to 15 days is for global talent is good, I think, depending on the company and the area and the period of time. Because if you go to them in a period when everything is before Christmas, for example, which is really difficult because they prepare many things, probably they won't have the answer so fast. But if you ask in the beginning when they believe they have an answer, and then press it a bit to reply earlier, it's okay. You won't seem too demanding. You will instead be seen as more professional.
Good. And another question. So far, what has been your best sale, and how did you achieve it?
Hmm. So, when I was team leader in ITV, Incoming Global Volunteer, we had a partner. Actually, we didn't have it. It wasn't our partner yet, but we went to a municipality who had the children centers, the public children centers, and we wanted to offer to seal a contract, to seal a deal, let's say, for 6 months back-to-back global volunteer opportunities. And we managed to raise 30 opportunities there for 6 months. This was my best sale. And after that, I had another big one for 9 opportunities in Global Entrepreneur with a partner who I had really good ties with. He was the one I told you who has raised so far 17 opportunities. It was March. No, it was May. May of 2018, the May that passed. And I saw that I didn't have my plan achieved. So what I did was to call him since he already had a really nice experience with the previous interns, and to tell to him that okay, as you know, I have this goal, and I saw that you have a really nice experience with ISIC so far. So what do you think? Should we raise some more opportunities and offer even many more experiences? And he said, okay, let's raise 9. And from 3 opportunities, we went to 9, like that. And I think, yes, these were my best 2 sales.
Mhm. Perfect. There's another question, Sjal from Uppsala. How successful has the newsletter that you sent to the partners has been? And do you have any measurables for that?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you can say if a newsletter is successful by the way that you speak with a partner after you send it or in your next collaboration. The newsletter has the use of keeping the companies engaged with ISEC, and even if they don't raise right now, they will have you in mind for future collaborations. How you can measure if it's successful by seeing if you have mail track, you can check who read your newsletter, and then what was the activity. You can ask, you can speak with the MC. What we do now is by our newsletter, we see who read them and who actually went into isaac.gr after that to see for more opportunities or to check for updates or whatever. There's not. It's really fluid, to be honest, in the way I see it, because I don't know how to handle metrics and stuff like that. But I check if newsletter is successful by the way the person will talk to me after I send it, because some of them maybe they will unsubscribe. Wow, I cannot speak today. If they unsubscribe, okay, you see that it wasn't successful. But if they continue reading your newsletters and have a really nice discussion after that, then it's cool. And then you keep them engaged as you want it.
Okay, great. So those are all the questions. So thank you very much, Christina, for sharing your experience with us. And thank you everyone for watching the webinar. Remember, next week we have the last two webinars of Get the Gold. So stay tuned and see you. Have a nice evening. Bye bye.
Okay.